Hello guys, my name is Kaimana Kane, and today I'm going to be giving you a book review on The Last Kids on Earth and the Nightmare King. Alright, so just a heads up, this is my least favorite in the series. Well, not the whole series because I don't have the rest of the books. I only have book number 1 and number 2, and this one's the number 3rd one. And this is basically, the second one is my favorite, the first one is my second favorite, this is my least favorite. Just wanted to give you that heads up. Alright, so this book starts off not like any other book, but playing Real-Life Mario Kart. So, I don't know how many teenager boys can make a Mario go-kart cart, but this nerd can, so don't ask me any questions. I don't know a lot about mechanics or making go-karts, but this kid does. Alright, so they race to the nearest arcade, and, well, they just had a great time going there, talking a lot, and Jack doesn't even have a go-kart. He has his pet dog named Rover, and he's not really just an ordinary dog. He's a monster, gigantic dog, like my Dookie right here. Alright, so once they go to the arcade, they play air hockey, they play video games, arcades, and stuff like that, like any 1980s arcade games, like Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Deluxe Edition, or something like that. Alright, so now they have just so much fun. Then they're driving down the streets again, and really they're looking for something fun they could do. Well, they found something fun, which is a game store. And they assume they have never seen any of these games before, but they haven't seen this one too. And it's not even a game, it's a monster. And, well, it's basically like a devolved version of this monster right here. And, well, he has the capability of hypnotizing. So they're walking down a dark road in the game store, and they find a shadow with two like glowing red eyes, like this right here. And then they see 4 right above them, and they're thinking, oh, those are just like the game lights or something like that. And then there's a little bit more light added because the lights suddenly come on, and, well, it's basically this dude right here. And so he hypnotizes Jack while all of his 3 other friends start running away because I guess they're chickens. But anyways, Jack's getting hypnotized at this moment, and his friends go get like one of the smartest monsters in town who knows everything about like spells and stuff like that. So he knows how to get into this dude's mind right here. And basically they put a circle of sand, and they have a candle in the middle, and they start chanting like ancient stuff like and stuff like that. Pretty funny if you ask me, but I guess it's really serious for them. So now they go into this dude's mind, and, well, it's basically kind of like lucid dreaming. So once you're dreaming, you're kind of like in your head, right? And, well, in a dream, it's kind of like set up of what you're gonna do in like the next hour or 2. But while you're lucid dreaming, you can do anything you want. And that's kind of like what hypnotizing is. But this one monster can like hypnotize freely, so it puts him in his mind. And, well, Jack is basically a god because he can do anything he wants in that monster's mind. So basically he sees a bunch of monsters and some copies of his friends telling him to go away and giving him like negative comments about him. And, well, he doesn't really want to leave them because they're his closest friends, and basically like the closest people on Earth aside from New York, which is far, far away from where they're at right now. And, well, Jack doesn't want that to like really happen. So Jack really is inside that monster's mind. And well, basically, he tries to fight off monsters, but he doesn't want to fight his friends. But then reality's actual friends, Jack, not Jack, June, Dirk, and Quint, the real ones, go into the monsters' minds. And well, they basically help Jack fight off all the monsters and the fake friends. So then when the candle in the middle, so there's a candle in the middle of the sand circle, and if it dies out, well, you're basically stuck in the monster's head and you can't escape. So like you're fake now, and you can't go back until the monster gets you out of their head. So before they do it, help help Jack destroy the monsters and the friends. They know they have a time limit that they have to get out of here, out of the monster's mind. So they try and do it as quickly as possible, head up to their tree house, and well, once they're in their tree house, it basically like you close your eyes and you chant something and you're back in the real world, but not in a tree house. You're sitting on the circle. Then, well, the monster's right here, the circle's right here, Jack's right here, so Jack has a higher probability of getting eaten by this monster. So he starts to run first, and then his friends follow after him. And they get in their go-karts and start driving away. So then they go to their tree house. But then before that, they stop by a fire station because it seems like people are in there, but in reality, they're just two zombie firefighters that are like mumbling something. But then they still hear something. They still hear something upstairs. So they go to investigate, and well, it's only a one-way radio, so the people in New York can send messages to wherever the other radio is, which happens to be in this fire station. But the radio in the fire station cannot send messages to the people in New York. So they try and listen and they try and talk back, but nobody's answering. And then Quint, with his gigantic head, he figured out that this was a one-way radio and they couldn't talk back. But with the right tools and parts, well, he could fix it to make it a two-way radio, so the fire station could communicate with the people in New York. So they go back to their treehouse and figure out a plan of how to do it. But Jack's not all right with his plan. He wants to stay with his buddies forever and nobody to interrupt their friendship. But the three other friends, Quint, Dirk, and June, they want to have other people, but Jack doesn't like this idea. So this book is basically like about Jack trying to have as much fun with his friends. As you can see, they're at an abandoned amusement park right now. And well, he tries to make them have fun, so much fun that they don't want to save those people, which have already been saved. Well, kind of make an alliance. But they want to stay by themselves, and they just want to stay by them. Jack wants his friends to stay by Jack, so they don't have any more friends because he just wants it to be him and his buddies. Right, so they go to the nearest store and try and get the equipment, but Jack's like, why don't we have a basketball competition or a Mountain Dew competition? They said, no, we're trying to get the radio fixed. So when they go back home, Jack keeps on saying like, it's break hour, time to have some fun. And well, what Jack's thinking is he wants them to think it's break time and party time so they can party without noticing it's already like 7 p.m. or something. So Jack tries to do it, but he fails and he is unsuccessful. So he keeps on trying the other days, but then he says, let's just go to Joe's Pizza, which is a closed pizza place that is infected by, populated by good monsters who eat eyeball pizzas. So they think of this as a good time to have hang out and reconnect with each other because they've been focusing so hard on that one-way radio and trying to make it a two-way radio. So Jack tries to keep on having fun with them, kind of like a party person. but their friends don't necessarily want to do that. So once in a every while, Jack and his friends go real-life go-karting, and they keep on doing the same thing, going to the arcade once in a while. But then Jack has this genius idea. So in his childhood, when he was like 7 or 8, I can't remember, that his parents used to bring him to this fun amusement park. And it was just down the highway, just a few miles down the highway. You exit, and then boom, you have this gigantic amusement park with everything you could possibly need. So Jack tells his friends about this amusement park, and they're kind of bummed that they want to work on their radio, but Jack wants to go to their amusement park. But they've been realizing that they've been rejecting Jack too much, so they come up with a plan, because they can't just drive, because the zombies will take over their car and infect them. So they think of something bigger, not like a gigantic flying car. Well, what about a gigantic monster? So there's this gigantic monster that's kind of like a human, but with fur around his body, kind of like Bigfoot, blue fur, and really just dumb. So they go to the nearest Joe's Pizza, and they ask the chef oddly but quite unusual question. Can we borrow your couch, please? So the cook lets them borrow their couch, and so Jack and his friends need help to put it, so they find another giant monster to help put the couches on the monster Bigfoot blue fur shoulders. And so since the monster can't be infected, if the zombies bite his ankles, his feet, his toes, he will not get infected, because he's basically like already a monster. So they thought that was a genius idea, and they made that happen. So now they're walking to the amusement park, and well, they first get popcorn, then try and win prizes. And I have to sneeze, and it's not coming out. So they also find this 6-can baseball like throwing game. You try and knock down all the 6 cans, and then, well, they basically play it as if it were still populated by people. And well, you have to knock the cans down, and they have to get the squishamallow. So long story short, the amusement park's about to close, and they want to go on their favorite roller coaster, which is just around, like, here's the whole amusement park, and it's in the very back. But the amusement park's still populated with zombies, so they kill most of the zombies and go onto the roller coaster. And once they're at the very tippy top, they feel it stop. And they're like, what the heck just happened? Well, I'll explain. So this monster right here, this monster had stopped their roller coaster cart, and Jack the Brave Hero has his broken wooden bat, and he's ready to stab it. So he climbs to the very middle of this wooden roller coaster, and he jumps off and stabs his body all the way down to his stomach. And basically the monster retreats, and so Jack climbs back up to the roller coaster cart, and at the very end of the book, this is the very end of the book. And right there you can see the one-way radio. It hadn't been fixed. So that's the end of this book. It's my least favorite book of the series, but it's kind of boring, maybe 6 out of 10. The best way to explain this book is kind of plain, so not too much action and stuff like that. But that's really just my opinion of this book. Yours might be different, so I encourage you to read this book because you might like it. So that's it for this book review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.